Hello everyone, welcome to Nihira Techiees. In this video, I am going to explain routing in Angular. So basically, routing helps us to navigate one view to another view or else one component to another component in order to complete the particular task. So in this video, I am going to explain how to implement basic routing in our Angular application. So after that, I am going to implement the dynamic routing and the child routing and how to handle the 401 error in the routing itself. At the end, I'm going to explain how to pass some values in the routing URL and also how to get the values from the routing URL. So I am going to explain each topic step by step. First, let me going to create my application. So for creating the application, we have the CLI command ng new and our application name. So why I am creating means even when we are creating time itself, the code will ask, do you want to create the routing file? So if I give yes, it will generate. In case if I not provide yes, I need to create the file manually. So yes, it's asking, would you like to add Angular routing? So we have to give yes and style CSS. So now it's installing the required npm packages. It will take some time. So now look like our application is created. Now let me open in the Visual Studio Code. Okay, this is our newly created application. So inside the source in the app folder, if you see the routing file was there. So if you see in the routes, the values in storing in the array format. So in the route object has the combination of component and path. This is the main thing. Other than that, we have the children and the can active function was there. So everything we can see details. So basically we should have the component. So if I need to add any component, first I need to create it. So for explaining this functionality, I am going to create three components. One is home and another one is about and the final one is employee. So let me create my first component ng generate and my component name is home. So okay, first component is created and my next component is about. So also the final one is employee. Okay, now we have created our component and now I am going to add in the route side. So first I need to mention the component name. So first component is home component. So the path is say empty even if I'm not providing any value in the URL. So defaultly it's taking the home component. So as I mentioned, this is the array. So inside we can add multiple objects. So now I am going to add my next component. So next one is about. And here I am going to provide name as about. And the third one is employee component. And my path name is employee. So, okay, now we have completed on base routing. So let me run this application. And after that, we can create some menus and we can verify whether how it's working. Okay, look like our application is running mode. So we can see our output now. So this is the output actually. It's a default template provided by the Angular. Here we can have this menu section. All other things we can remove. So all the changes are coming from the app component. So let me target on this app component first. So here this menu section only required. So this router outlet is very important one. I will explain it later. So now we can see the menu only is there. Here I am going to create some new menus. Okay, first one is home and second one is about and the final one is employee. So let me add some styles also. Color should be white and padding 5 pixel. Okay, fine. Now it looks good. Now here we can add our router link. So if you clearly noted, all are in small letter. this link only in caps letter. The link L only is the capital letter. So home we provided the route value is empty. So let me add the same thing here also. And the second one is about, and third one is employee. So now we can verify. So if you see here, so defaultly the home component is loaded. That's what it's saying home works. If I'm clicking about, the URL is changed as the about. And if I'm clicking the employee, so employee the URL is changed, and also the component says employee works. So here the functionality is when you are clicking any link, so it's searching in the app routing model. So we already defined the path. So if its path is matching, then it is taking the particular component in order to loading in the router outlet. So that is why we have to use this router outlet. Okay. So now we can change some designs. Now I'm coming to our home component. Here I'm going to have one H2 tag. So welcome to Nihira Techiees. And I'm copying the same content. I am trying to include in the other components also. Because then only know what changes actually we are doing. And the employee part is over. Now we can test once again. So if you see the home page, it's not on home page, it's about page. So welcome to about and welcome to Nihira Techiees. If I'm going to the employee, so welcome to the employee. So this is the one of the basic routing. So as of now, I'm provided only one H2 tag. If you are making your own designs, so whatever designs you are creating the particular component, it will display in the particular area. So now we have completed the basic routing. Next, I am going to explain child routing. Okay. For implementing the child routing, I am going to create one more component here. So the component name is about company. So basically child routing means, so already we have the route. That means already we have some menu. So inside the menu, I am going to create another one menu. That the real-time scenario in the about, we may have about company, about our carrier. We can provide separate links, but all are inside for the about. So the same way, I am going to have one new link for about organization. So inside the about menu, I am going to have this about organization menu. That's what I am creating the components. So in the routing side also we have some changes. Let me explain deeply. So okay, look like our component is created. So let me go to the routing side. So if you see in the about side, I am going to add children. So the children also taking the array as the input because we can add n number of children. I mean n number of new menus for any parent menu. Okay. So here also the concept is same. So we have to provide the component and path. So our component name is about company and I'm going to give path value is company. That's it. So after that, let me come to our about component. If you see here I am going to add one link. So the link name is about company. So that is fine. After that, we need to add the router link. So in the router link, we need to mention, so the newly created route is called as what company. So inside the about menu, we are creating this company. And here also we need to define the router outlet. So default router outlet is available in the app component. Now we are creating the some child component scenario. So we supposed to use the router outlet in our parent component. That is the scenario. Okay, now it's showing the link. So if I'm clicking about company, see the about company works. So this text actually coming from our another one component. And if you see the URL also, it's changed about and after that it's a company. So if I'm clicking the employee, it's fine. If I'm coming to the about, so inside the about I can have one more menu. So in this way we can add multiple child components. So now let me move on the employee screen. So in the employee screen I'm going to add some real kind of data. So using this dynamic data I'm going to explain the dynamic routing concept. For that let me going to create two more components. So our first component is for M listing, and my second one is M add. So employee is the main component. Inside that I am going to add two components. One is for employee listing and another one is for adding any new employees. Here actually we are not going to implement any add operations. So we are going to load the real-time data in the listing. So after that, based on the data, I am going to explain the routing concept. That's it. So look like our components are created. So let me go to the routing side. Here I am going to add the child run concept. So as I mentioned, this one also array. Here I am going to have one more object. So the component is, so employee listing is our component, and my default path is empty, because whenever I'm coming to the employee menu, I need to load my listing. So I'm defaultly provided as the empty one, and the next one is add. So embed component. Here I'm going to provide the path value is edit, and also, so when we are editing any listing record, we will have one some key value. So we will pass that also in the URL. So that is a dynamic value. Actually, we don't know. So let me define, this is the ID. This is our main employee page. Here we don't have much changes. First, let me add the router outlet. That is very important one. Okay, that is fine. Now we can verify. So if I am in the employee page, the employee listing works, it's defaultly coming. So now I am going to make changes in the listing page only. Here I am going to create one table. So in the tree head we have four fields: name, and the third one is email, and the fourth one is phone. The final one is action. Okay, in the tree body, actually we are going to generate everything in the dynamic manner. For fetching the data, I'm going to create one service, ng generate service. So it's not going to take much time. So if you have real-time data, it will give some better experience. That's what I'm trying to add the real data here. So look like our service is created. So if you want to consume any external API, we need to import HTTP client model in our app model. So let me import it first. So this is the basic thing I already explained my one of the video. So we need to include in the import slide. So here the changes are done. So let me go to my services. In the services, I need to inject the HTTP client. So okay, this is also done. And here I'm going to create one function, and it's written this dot http dot get method. So I need to pass the API URL here. So API URL is, so we already created one service here. So let me copy this URL. Now we can pass this URL here. So now we have done our changes in our service side. So let me move on employee listing. Here first I am going to declare one object. Okay, this is done. So let me inject the master service here. So this is also done. So inside the constructor I am going to call the particular method for getting the employee record. So get all method. So for any external API we are consuming, this is the observable array only. So we need to subscribe it. So without subscription we won't get any data. So let me do it first. So this dot m listing equal to result. So let me format it. Now I am going to bind it here. For that I am going to use this ng for first. Let item of, here we have the td. First I am going to bind the code, and the second one is name, then email and phone. The final one is action. So let me bind everything one by one. So the final one is actually we have the button. So the button is for edit. So I am going to use some classes here, button and button primary. So now we can see our output. Okay, see the data are loaded, it's fine. So as of now if I'm clicking the edit button, there is nothing is loaded. So I'm going to include the router outlet here. So on the router outlet I'm going to use the edit. So after that we need to pass the value. So our key value is code. So it's not a router outlet, it's actually a router link. Okay, now it looks fine. So if I'm trying to click edit, see the menu has been changed. Okay, so add employee works, this part only is coming. So again if I'm trying to click this one, the fourth record, so URL is changing. So if you see here, the URL is dynamically changing based on whatever data we are clicking. So up to the edit is common, static info. After that the code we are passing in the dynamic manner. So this is actually what dynamic routing. As of now we are passing the single data. In the real-time scenario we can use a number of data also, we can handle it. So now I am going to explain. As of now we passed the value also, and Now I am going to explain how to get this value. So when I'm clicking this generator, the ID actually we are passing, right? So how we can get this ID? So let me explain this one also. For that, our component is add employee add component. Here we need to use this activated route. So if you are injecting this one, we can get the information. So private route, and this is activated route. So here I'm going to declare one more variable, emid, anything. So let me bind this one. So current employee. So just we are binding the employee ID only, that's it. But it's a dynamic way. So now I am trying to set the real-time data for the employee ID. So this dot route dot snapshot of parameter map and get. So now if you see I am providing ID. Why I am providing ID means when I am adding in our routing time, there it is our routing. So yeah, here actually we provided ID only. So the same value we are supposed to use everywhere, then only we will get exact data. So now we can verify this one also. So if you see the current employee is 6. So let me go to the about, and now I'm coming to the employee page. If I'm trying to click this one, Ravi Sharma, so saying current employee code is 4. So in the real-time scenario, as of now I'm loaded the data. Even if you are implementing the CURD operation also, if I am clicking, so I am getting the ID. Based on the ID, I need to pass the get by code method, and I need to get all the data, and I have to populate in the respective controls. So when I'm explaining the what is called the forms, like reactive forms and template driven form, that time I will explain very deeply about these concepts. So as of now, we have completed the routing implementation, dynamic routing, child routing, and also how to pass and getting the parameters. The final one is handle 401 error. So see, we all know employee is the menu. So if I am trying to pass one more URL, just a singly, there is no records are loaded. Okay, the screen is completely blank. Why? Because I am provided one URL, the URL is not invalid one. So that's what it's saying, the invalid error. So we, sorry, invalid menu name. Okay, if I'm trying to give test, so it's just moving to our home URL, but there is no data. So it's showing error. So in that scenarios, so we can have one 404 page in case if you are entering wrong URL, we have to redirect into our 401 page. So let me create one more component, ng generate component. So error. So I think look like our component is created. Yes. And here what we can do, h3, please enter valid URL, and also we can convey the user 401 error style. We can give font size is maybe 60 pixel, then only it's showing the big array. And now let me go to our routing file. So in the routing side, I am going to add one more route here. The scenario all are same. So component first, error component. So in the path, So we need to give double star. Okay. Now if I'm clicking employee, oh, it's always showing like this. So we may need to call in the bottom. Okay, fine. Now I'm in the employee page. If I'm the about page, that also fine. Even the home page. So in case I'm trying to give one wrong URL, so it will simply redirect you into the 401 page. So as of now, in the design side, I am not concentrated. So if you want, you have to create your own design. So in order to, we can redirect in our 401 page. Here, all the activities are controlled from the what is called the routing itself. And one more important thing, actually, I am not explained. So even authentication also we can handle from the routing side itself. For that, we have one more property, can activate. Okay, we have to create some auth card. We need to specify our logics. Based on the logics, we can use this can activate. If it's valid, the URL can be accessible, otherwise the URL won't be accessible. So in my authentication video, I clearly explained. That's what I'm not going to spend time here. So in my next video, I'm going to explain one of the interesting topics. So still, if you have any doubts or clarifications, please post in my comment box. And also please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you. Thanks for watching.